clinical trial and introduction. My name is Professor M.U.R. Raidu. In this particular topic, I will be discussing about the general aspect of clinical trial. The learning objective of the presentation is: number one, what is a clinical trial? Number two, how many types of clinical trials are available? And number three, how to conduct a clinical trial. Performance objectives. The learner should be able to perform a clinical trial either in the hospital or in a community setting. Whether he or she faces a doubt regarding benefit of any intervention or drug safety or efficacy. What is a clinical trial? Clinical trial, it is an experimental and epidemiological method which was applied to evaluate the effect of drug or other epidemiological intervention. These intervention studies are usually done on individual participant, usually on patient. Sometime in phase 1 study, the healthy subjects are also included as a participant in a clinical trial. As per US National Library of Medicine, the clinical trial has been suggested to be like a research study in human volunteers to answer a specific health question. Why clinical trials are done? They are mostly done because of two important reasons. Number one, as they provide better evidence of the effect or the outcome that cannot be obtained with any other observational method. And number two, the validation is minimized and bias is controlled, hence more valid, and their result speaks truth about the data which is coming out from these clinical trials. Why they are done? Enjoying maximum confidence, just like any other scientific laboratory experiment. Providing maximum amount of assurance and fastest and the safest way to find the treatment that work in people and way to improve the health of the population. Now let us see what are the advantages of conducting clinical trial and what are their objectives. Number one, the intervention trials determine whether the experimental treatment or trial are safe and effective under control environment. The observation trial addresses health issues in large group of people in the natural setting, whether they provide any benefit to the general population. When we do clinical trial, when the laboratory and the animal studies yield the most promising result of the particular intervention, those results are tested in clinical trial. So once the animal experimental data shows a very promising effect and shows it is quite safe, then only the human testing is started. Conduct of clinical trial also depends on the margin of safety. When the margin of expected benefit or the outcome of an intervention is very much doubtful and very narrow, that is 10 to 30% only, and when the margin is very large, obvious and beyond doubt, it will be unnecessary to conduct any clinical trial. Now let us see what are the various types of clinical trial. The first one is the treatment trial, or also known as intervention trial. Second is prevention trial. Third is diagnostic trial. Fourth is screening trial. And the last one is the quality of life trial. So these are the 5 important clinical trials. What is done in treatment trial? In treatment trial, the new treatment is evaluated, or the new combination of drugs are tested, or the new type of surgery is evaluated, and lastly, even the radiation therapy is also evaluated in the treatment trial. Coming to prevention trial, in this we try to find out the better ways to prevent the disease in people and also to prevent the recurrence of the disease by using medicine, vaccines, vitamins, minerals, and also the lifestyle changes. So these are the ways we try to prevent the disease in the population. In diagnostic trial, the study is conducted to find out the better and more specific test for the diagnosis of a particular disease, or to find out a better procedure to diagnose a particular disease. The screening trial is done to find out the best way to detect certain diseases or condition in the population. A very good example is that conducting the blood sugar levels in the population to find out that how many of them are suffering with diabetes mellitus. Coming to last, that is lifestyle trial. It is also called as supportive care trial and often employed for the chronically and terminally ill patient. They explore the ways to improve their comfort and good quality of life so that they may not suffer with severe complications and pain, etc., at the last stage of their life. Phases of clinical trial. Clinical trials are divided mainly into four phases: phase 1 trial, phase 2 trial, phase 3 trial, and last is phase 4 clinical trial. Phase 1 clinical trial, this is also known as first in human study. Usually it is conducted in healthy subjects of 20 to 80 numbers. Only in some cases like cancer or HIV or some very serious diseases, patients are included in phase 1 clinical trial. The main purpose of phase 1 clinical trial to evaluate the safety of a new molecule and to determine the safe dose range which can be used in subsequent clinical trial. And if there is any side effect, we have to find out how those side effects can be rectified or can be prevented in the further clinical trial. So the main aim of phase 1 clinical trial to find out the safety of a molecule. Phase 2 clinical trials are done in patient with particular disease, and large number of patients, 100 to 300 patients are included in study, and the main purpose is to evaluate the safety and effectiveness of new drug in a particular disease condition. So this is actually the first therapeutic trial conducted during the development of new drug. In phase 3 clinical trial, we reconfirm the efficacy and safety of the new molecule in little large number of patients ranging from 1000 to 3000, and usually it is a multi-centric trial. The purpose of phase 3 trial is to confirm its further effectiveness in a particular disease and monitor the side effect in large number of patients and to compare it with the commonly used standard treatment and to gather information regarding the safe use of this drug in large number of population. Last phase of clinical trial is phase 4 clinical trial. It's also known as post-marketing studies or post-marketing surveillance. When the drug is marketed, it is used by various populations suffering with various diseases. So the purpose is to find out what are the risks of this drug when used in population, what are its benefits, and what is the optimum use of this drug by the population. So this is the last phase of clinical trial where we gather the information from the population, those who are using this drug at large. This is a very important slide showing how actually the clinical trial is planned and conducted. The first and foremost, the reference population on whom the clinical trial is done are selected. These selected experimental populations are included, and those who are not fulfilling the criteria as per the protocol are excluded from the study. The selected population, they are known as study population or the clinical trial participant. They are distributed into random manner into various groups of treatment. The one group which received the drug is known as intervention group, to whom the new drug is used. The other group is known as a comparative group, which received the standard treatment. Both the groups are evaluated simultaneously, and sometimes the placebo is also used as a comparator, but it is better to avoid the placebo when the standard treatment is available. And simultaneously, the intervention group and comparator group are evaluated, and the assessment is done uniform to find out the proper outcome. For any clinical trial, the protocol designing and the planning of the study is very, very important because of two very important reasons. Number one, to safeguard the health and well-being of all the participants. The dictum is there, do no harm. And second, to get an answer to the specific research questions. So these are two very, very important aims for doing a clinical study. One is the safety of the individual, and then second, the getting a proper useful data. In brief, what is protocol? The protocol mainly describes what type of people or participants are going to participate in a particular clinical trial, what are the various schedule of tests or procedures will be conducted, various types of medication, what will be given to them, and what are the various dosage of those medicines will be given to the participant, and then what is the total duration of that study, and how long they have to participate in a trial, and how frequently they have to come for the follow-up. Each and every component of protocol must be explained to the participant in much detail, and particularly regarding the benefit and all types of risk which can occur during participation of the clinical trial, and what are the various possible side effects which can occur during the study. Secondly, that protocol must be submitted to ethics committee, and prior written approval has to be taken before initiating any trial related activity. So these are two very important things one has to consider before starting any clinical trial in participant. All the trial participants have to be informed about the benefit of participating in the trial, so to encourage them to participate in the particular trial. Like that, they play a very active role in their own health care. They gain access to the new treatment before they are widely available to other patients. They obtain a very expert medical care during the clinical trial, and most important that they help and contribute significantly about the various issues related to disease and the treatment to the large number of population. More than explaining the benefit, it is very important that participants should be explained about the risk of participating in a particular trial, like all the possible unpleasant events which can occur, what are the various serious side effects, or even there may be a life-threatening side effect can occur during the clinical trial. There may be possibility that the particular clinical trial may not show any improvement and there may be a treatment failure, and definitely there may be possibility of time waste in participating in a clinical trial. So it is very important and necessary that all the detail about the risk of participating in a clinical trial has to be explained to the participant. The next important part in clinical trial is properly selecting the reference population. These are the population who actually get advantage of the result of the trial, and they get benefited after the trial data is available. It can be whole or part of country, or it can be a specific population like school children, a specific age group, particular age group, or a particular disease group. So we have to correctly identify the population, those who are going to benefit after the trial has been completed. So selection of the reference population is quite important in any clinical trial. Now coming to the selection of the experimental population, those who are really participating in actual clinical trial. There are usually various criteria laid down. They are known as inclusion and exclusion criteria to select the participant into a trial. A simple selection from the reference population as feasible and practicability has to be considered. Usually sufficient large number of confounding factors, they play a role, so selection should be quite accurate. Many times there are non-responders. It may be up to 10%, and sometime in some clinical trial it may be more than that. So that number also should be considered in enrollment. Sufficient number of endpoints has to be considered, and which can be preferably recorded objectively, because if the endpoints are subjective, then lot of bias may be coming. So objective parameters in evaluation is preferred in a clinical trial. Feasibility to inform the participant and to do the follow-up throughout and after the trial is also very important to really find out the complete outcome of the clinical trial. So not only completing the trial but subsequent follow-up after the completing of trial is also very important for any clinical trial. The study population includes those really participate in a clinical trial, and they are included in the study after thorough examination and ruling out their inclusion and exclusion criteria. Only those who are found suitable to be included into the trial are included, and the participants, those who are not fulfilling the required criteria, are excluded from the trial. They are known as non-participant.